Hello survivors, welcome to a brand new Soulstone survivor video. Today we're doing a full poison build. Let's just get straight into it. We actually on +2, but these builds specifically are just there to beat the first 5 Titan hunts, so you get a good understanding, just so you can see that they are viable as well. This one specifically can do the +2s and higher, but we are going to focus on Mhyzahet the whole time. Hopefully we can get a loot goblin. I haven't seen one in forever, so if we can get one, that would be fantastic. We are doing a poison only build, so no dot, no doom, no bleed, none of that stuff. It is just pure poison. You do get access to bleed via our ascension, so just if you do see like all attacks have a chance to bleed, banish it or just ignore it, but don't take it, because then you're going to add other bleed passives to your skill selection, your passive pool, and that's going to make it so that you're going to have more. And oh my goodness, right off the bat we get a rotting. Whenever you apply poison, a portion of the total damage is caused instantly, so 40% of all poison is going to be dealt instantly. That is the most insane first skill that you can get when we are playing with this. So over here we're going to take poison bolt and poison puddle, both very, very strong. Now the only thing that I might not do is, if you can see, everything over here is physical. Now the only one that is purely magical is going to be the poison pestilence. And the reason why that is maybe a no-go for this is when we get the damage upgrades for the legendary from Divine Legacy, the legendary Divine Legacy upgrades, the damage increase, you can either only get physical or magical. And because these are all mostly physical, I guess magical can work, because that's magical, that's magical. These are physical, we'll see. This one's physical as well, also very, very strong at applying a lot of poison and doing that. There's the bleed, like I mentioned, so we're going to banish it, banish those, increase the damage, grab the magnetic, and let's see. So pestilence is magical. We've got 1, 2, and then 3, where the rest of them are physical. I do want to just see there is another poison skill that we can grab instead, which is the poison. It's not puddle. Trying to think what it is. It's like the poison puddle. I just can't remember the name off the top of my head for some reason. I've gone blank. But yeah, it's the other poison puddle skill. Poison cloud. There we go. And that could be quite good as well, because it applies weakness as well. Where pestilence, when we did try this before, although it is a very strong skill, the plague vipers actually dealt more damage overall than pestilence did. So undergoing that sort of information, or having that information to go off of, I can decide, okay, maybe we don't need to play with pestilence at all. You don't need necessarily a dot damage skill. Maybe if you're going higher cycles, so if you go for more titans, but for the first 5 your damage is more than enough to warrant not grabbing that as a skill. So let's just quickly see. Poison cloud is physical as well, so it just makes sense to go for that. The only thing, yeah, everything will be physical then. It just makes a lot more sense to me to grab that instead of pestilence. And now we want to try and get as much damage, as much cast frequency. So in this case, the damage over here is bigger. We're going to grab ourselves, we don't need that. Cast frequency we'll keep. And then also things like this, the damage of every poison you apply to be increased as well, is going to be fantastic. And then you'll see why we go for Mhyzahet the whole time, because Mhyzahet has the passive that, or the Titan buff, that makes it you deal your poison damage more frequently. And that's going to allow us to deal a whack ton more poison. And we've also got the rotting nice and early to help with that too. Dodge at the right time, which I never. We're also trying to stay away from this flamethrower. And you can just see what the poison does for us to these bosses. It's always so beautiful seeing these lovely green health bars all over the bosses' heads for the entirety of the run. damage for poison, multicast the poison. We do need movement speed as well, cast frequency, critical strikes may now apply poison, poison on hit. We will get the critical damage as well. We want both the area of effect and the crit over here, and that was stupid of me, but there we go, beautiful multicast. Nature to swing doesn't really matter too much. We are going to grab damage for the Viper because I think that's where most of our damage is going to come from, and then movement speed and multicast over there. Alright, that legendary multicast is going to make it so that we apply so much poison now. And eventually we will land up removing the visual effects just to make it a little bit easier for us to see enemy effects on the floor. I know someone did ask in the comments section if the developers in the future could maybe change the red to a different color. I haven't got around to asking the developers just yet, but I do plan on asking them to make it a setting in the game as opposed to just outright changing it, because I think that's a little bit easier. I mean, we have the option to change our cursor color, cursor size, and things like that. It would be cool if we had the option or the quality of life to choose these circles to be a different color. I mean, if I could change them to purple or something, they might stick out a little bit better than that red. So it would be nice to change them to another color if possible. Let's go for the cast frequency over there. Beautiful. And we are done. Remember in the, I think it was the Monkey King, the New Beginning update, poison and rot got joined into a single skill. So poison never used to spread between enemies. Rot used to do that. I think it was that. I'm trying to remember now. So there was poison and rot and doom and cursed. And doom and cursed got joined into one. Cursed used to be that the enemies would explode when doom killed them, dealing a percentage of the doom that was left over to surrounding enemies in a small area. And poison was spreading to enemies around the affected enemy when they get defeated. So that got, you know, put into single skills and changed. And I don't know, it's been great since then. Poison has become since that day a staple in a lot of powerful builds because of the great clear speed that it has, and obviously transferring these poison stacks over to other skills, I mean to other enemies quite efficiently. Movement speed, damage increase, we're not really too worried about a single skill here. So now when we do get those big damage increases, those epic ones, like if we were playing the Pestilence, I would be worried about damage on Pestilence only because it's like a damaging skill, where here we can kind of focus on every skill and it's going to work out really well for us. Unfortunately, we did not receive our... I really don't want those. We did not... Ooh, we'll grab both. We... Let me finish here. We did not receive our loot goblin, so we don't get a fight at Mhyzahet twice in a row. We do need to go for Aruanak as well once, so it's fine having to fight them once every round. But, you know, just typical, maybe we should have gone Aruanak first, because we're probably going to land up getting the loot goblin now on the second round, because that's just how it works when I'm playing the game, you know. Alright, we need to move away from him, and boom, done and dusted. Give me that level. Poison now causes damage more frequently. It's 80% frequency. So poison deals damage over 15 seconds. 80% more frequently means it's going to happen nearly, that's like 9 seconds instead of 15. And you can also get those passives as well from other upgrades. So there's a rare upgrade for poison deals damage more frequently as well. And if we can get that, and we can get that to a high number, then we're going to have our poison ticking like crazy. And I mean, you can already see it on the low life enemies, just how much damage it is providing us already, just with that 80% efficiency already. Oh, it's beautiful. You know, in computer language, a blue screen is always a bad thing to see, but when you see a green screen, beautiful. Only good things come out of green screens, you know? Okay, more poison, more movement speed. We don't need you. That, cast frequency, multicast, also fantastic. Remember, the more we can cast a skill, the more poison stacks we're going to apply with that skill as well. So multicast is going to be a fantastic thing to have occur with us. And it's kind of like, if we get the enemy to be a max green health bar, we can kind of forget that they exist completely. Also, if you want, you can disable the Beastmaster's Ascension. We don't use it in this build. It's a weird one. It's not a bad Ascension, it's just not that grand. You know, there are better things to run for instead. Over here, we're going to go cast frequency. Merciless is also good. I need to start doing a couple of rerolls now as well, because we are starting to rack up those locks and rerolls. So we will start doing them. Do need more movement speed as well. But look at that. Her health bar just disappeared. We can call this the pure poison, pure enjoyment build. But let's see, we can reroll. We want the lethality. There we go. Caused damage. Poison now causes damage more frequently. So it's a 30%. So we're on 110% more frequency, which again is very, very strong. We are looking damage overall is pretty good. We can banish that. Again, we're looking for some movement speed. Getting a really big one or crit is going to be good. We'll just leave it. I mean, how often are we going to get a magical one like that? Multicast for lasting is pretty good as well, so we'll grab that. And we used a couple of rerolls there, so I'm proud of myself. I love the green bars. There's just something about the color green that I'm just in love with. Alright, let's see what we can get going for ourselves over here now. And we are done with that. Very unlucky with the type of missions we got, the objectives for void fragments, because we're only getting like 1s and 2s. I would like to see, again, I've said this before in a previous video, but it would be nice to see a 5 one that could be rare, but it would be nice to have the opportunity to do like a 5 one. Maybe it could be more bosses or something more difficult, or I don't know. There's always a way to do it. Maybe move the one reward to be a single boss instead of a double, and 2 be 2 bosses, 3 be 3 bosses, 4 be 4 bosses, and so on and so forth. That could be one idea, the only way to really get it to work. I mean, there are 5 bosses, so technically we could have 5 bosses. I don't know if you guys remember the good old days where we used to fight like 10 bosses at once, or one straight after each other. Those were the good days. Especially for those immortal builds, you used to just sit there and boss after boss after boss used to just come out, slowly get lower and lower on their HP, and as you defeated the one boss, there's the next boss, and it was just like a never-ending cycle, but it was so fun. Alright, we do need more crit, but we need a good option on the crit, I guess. Unbreakables are actually very good for us. Damage, poison, I do want the merciless. HP there would have been good. Essentially, I'm just re-rolling and going for like the best quality gear. Not really too worried about that. I don't need the skill chain. Although, that will give us quite a lot of damage. And then we're going to re-roll that. We don't want that. We're going to go there. We'll grab the skill chain again. We can lock this one as well and go for the damage and the increase to the plague vipers. Hopefully, by the end of this, we're going to be doing a lot of damage, poison damage. Alright, so his whole health bar is poison now. And then it's just about trying to get it to be more and more as it keeps going. So there we go, we reroll, we wanted the poison, now Playz Dazed as well. And that's where the importance of things like critical mastery come in. So that's pretty good with that. Now, hopefully we can get a loot goblin. I wonder what the chance percentage-wise is. I also wonder if you kind of delay the actual round by not doing the objective, if there's a higher chance of seeing a loot goblin or not. But I don't think so. Like, is there something you need to do or achieve that's going to make a loot goblin appear? We can go for vicious strikes, we can go for merciless, because we don't have 100% critical strike chance yet. So having it on the vicious strikes is fine. Again, just something about the floor being green just ticks all the right boxes for me. Alright, reroll, go for movement speed there, cast frequency. Grabbing armor is always good, but we're going to get the magnetic. And over here, increased damage of every poison you apply. Now here it says 6221. Let's see, if I click this, it does go up. So that's actually really, really good to know. Increase the damage of every poison, so it goes to 7-9. You now apply more poison on crits. Does this increase? I don't think that would increase it, does it? No, it doesn't. But that definitely does make a massive difference. Lock the Swift, because we'll grab that for extra survivability. And it's just good to know now, if we go and grab that poison, it's going to increase that number. Alright, area of effect, we'll grab it for the snakes. I don't see why not. Let's make our way. I mean, if we grab our paw prints, it gives us a bit of boost of a movement speed, so we might as well grab that for now. And you can see the amount of finesse we're getting keeps going up, and that's because we do have the swing, poison to swing. That's the only reason I am taking it. Here's a huge increase to our poison damage, so we go from 9,600 all the way to 11,300. That is absolutely bonkers. It turns out just grabbing corrosive is probably going to be the main thing to focus on, because that's going to increase the poison damage for everything, and that's going to increase their damage in totality, because like poison bolt, it only does poison damage, only poison damage, only poison damage. This does damage and this does damage, but the damage is so small that it actually it's unfeasible to think about leveling that. So grabbing this poison or corrosive is actually massive for us. We're going to grab more of the plague vipers, but I also do want a damage increase as well. Damage increase is going to be increasing that poison damage as well, so we'll show you that now when we finally get one. There we go. So again, sitting on 13.8, it then goes up to 15.6, and then we can grab that over there. Fantastic. So just to show that it does actually work that way as well. So damage increase does increase the amount of poison that you're going to apply with the skill as well, but just grabbing yourself corrosives works just as well. And then because usually poison ticks at a rate of whatever over 15 seconds, getting elemental flow makes it deal the damage 100% faster as well. Yeah, it just all works so well together. Alright, critical strikes, grab more poison. Let's see what else we can get over here. Some decent block over there. And then we've got a 3 fart over here, and then the ones on the other side of there. I should have probably done a 1 first and then come and done the 3. taking damage, unfortunately, for free because we cannot see the floor. But that's part of the joy of playing with such a build. And nearly on 100 finesse stacks, which is actually pretty insane if you ask me. Alright, more poison. I will take that and more movement speed. I think movement speed wise, about 130% movement speed should be a really good spot to be in. And there we go, done and dusted. Let's go on to the boss fight. More frequently, I'll take that. More cast frequency, more crit. We're still not on 100%. Let's go more. Ooh, I want all of these, but you can't have them all. Cast frequency. I mean, the 6.3 second, it could go all the way down to like 4 seconds and still do a lot of damage. 21,000 damage on the poison ticks, and that's without taking into consideration, you know, the extra poison that we're applying with hits as well. Definitely do a lot more poison. Alright, so unfortunately we never got a loot goblin. So what we are going to do is we're going to oh, I'm sure we needed a bleed stack for that. We could go weakness to fragility, but we're not. We're going for more frequency on the poison. That was the whole point. And because we never got the loot goblin, we have an option here. We could either go more Dazed stacks, or we could go for shattered or damage and cast frequency. I think the damage and cast frequency from broken player will be much stronger though than a little bit of extra Dazed stacking. So we're going to go and do that instead. And then now we just do so much more damage with the poison. That's why getting ourselves, if we had that extra loot goblin, we would have been in such a good spot. But it is what it is. I'm wondering if the recent patches accidentally disabled the loot goblins. Let me know down below, guys, if you've seen a loot goblin recently, because I have had no luck in the past. I think it's been like the last 3 videos I haven't had them, but then there's also the games that I've played to try and think of different builds, and I haven't seen the loot goblins. So I don't know how rare they're supposed to be. I thought you would nearly always get at least one, but they're feeling quite rare right now. I don't know, maybe their rarity got shot up because of what they do for us. But I haven't seen one in quite some time. Okay, nature to swing. Multicast is pretty good here, but I mean, I guess we can do it. Oops. That did not go as planned. Not the damage we're looking for. I do want the skill chain. Messed up again. I was supposed to lock it and I never. We'll take the corrosive. I guess we'll just go for the double damage over here. That's actually 45% damage. So we're on 25,000. If we grab both of them, we're now on 29, about 30,000 damage. And we also have 11 snakes, each doing that amount of damage, and that's not taking into consideration multicast. So that's pretty OP. Not gonna lie. Pretty strong skill set over there that we've got for ourselves. Alright, fantastic, that's done. There was a fix where the XP crystals were causing a weird problem with the code. It did get fixed, so you shouldn't crash from that anymore. Like I was. And we've got a 3 down at the bottom over there that we can just go and pick up. Do you know what? We will just use our Ascension right at the end. I guess it's more poison damage. I should have always been using them, but doesn't. It's not like we needed to. Yo, I did not see their circle. Also, very important to always keep moving for obvious reasons. And this feels like it's one of those rounds where I want to do the 6th round to see what happens. So we might actually do that. because our 5th Titan is going to be Mhyzahet again, and then we'll get to see what it looks like having like the 240% frequency on the poison. Bring the boss over here, because for some reason the snakes don't like to move all the way through the map like they're supposed to. So by bringing the boss closer to us, they're going to go and hit him a lot more often. Alright, we managed to survive that somehow. Grab that, and then although Shattered is going to be very good, I want to grab the Gladiatorial Instinct. We do lose a bit of movement speed, but that's okay. And that's extra damage. I mean, we were on 30,000. We went to, we upped about, what, 1,600 damage from that. And also increased our cast frequency by quite a lot. So it should be good. We got a full heal for free. And then also a lot of these skills, I mean, except for Venomous Strike, are area, like damage over time. So they're lasting skills. So even if you land up getting a really low cooldown reduction, I don't think it matters too much. Multicast is probably going to be a much more important stat for this one, including the fact that we use summons. So if you're looking to be like, hey, what's there to focus, I will put it down in the description from now on. But in this case, we want to focus more on multicast and flat damage for the skills, specifically for our Vipers, as well as things like, I guess, area of effect also becomes quite important here, because those skills will be able to apply more poison to more enemies if they have more area of effect to do it. So that's going to be quite important there as well. We also need the crit and things like that. Here's another Swift. Multicast, beautiful. Oof, we needed that corrosive upgrade. There, thank you so much for locking this time. We're looking for damage, we found it. Beautiful. And then you can just see, unfortunately, we didn't pick up enough or any. I mean, we picked up one, but you know, sometimes you can get a whack ton of rottings, and for some reason we only picked up one right in the beginning of the round, which was amazing. Don't get me wrong, the fact that we found it like that and so early has been an absolute blessing. But imagine we picked up 4 or 5 of those. Do you know what? Okay, I'm going to take that. Let's look for the poison upgrades. I'll take that. We'll take that. I'm like, let's look for the poison upgrades, and then I'm taking everything but what I said I would be looking for. We'll take the damage. We got another 13 levels, don't you stress. That's going to be fine. There's rot. This is why we did it, so we can get that rotting. There you go, fantastic. Look for the corrosives. Look for the damage. Multicast is good. +2 is fantastic. Nature to swing's good. Going to crash our computer. Yes, I am missing some corrosives. It's not the end of the world. Death and decay, beautiful. I should have done this long ago, and I never. There's a corrosive. There's damage. Another corrosive. That was massive damage increases right there from that. So that should help us quite a lot. Oh man, it's so nice seeing their full health bar just poison. Absolutely getting destroyed there by us. We need another 2, so there's no point in doing the 3-1. Why make life more difficult for us if it's not necessary? It's on a 0.6 second cooldown, but there's 54%, so every time one of these go off, this is pretty much guaranteed to go off as well. I mean, not guaranteed, but it's pretty hard there. Alright, we don't even have more rerolls, so we can't do much about that. We'll just grab the multicast. Anyway, this is the very last boss fight. Also, time keeps ticking, even when you're doing other things. And we'll take the poison frequency, and then if you want to push this even further to go up higher to high 10 levels, you can still do that. And to just keep taking Mhyzahet, and I think I'd probably land up getting a couple of shattered stacks from broken, but going for the cast frequency and the upgrade there as well is going to be wonderful for you. So definitely something to look at. We did lose HP. You might want to think about lowering your visibility though. But there we go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed playing it. Let's take a look at what our damage numbers looked like. Plague Viper, only 121 billion, which is very important here, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that that damage number is so low is showing you that we actually did 134 billion with infected wounds, 121 billion with venomous. Even our skill tree alone, which was probably bleeding, I'm sure, dealt 10 billion over there. So a lot of damage coming from poison, and that's, yeah, how it is. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.